Good morning, Grace Church. It's a new day, which means it's time for another devotion. A very special happy birthday to Anna. Today is her birthday, so happy birthday, Anna. And I'm playing her game today, Where is Becki in her house? As you can tell, I'm sitting on my steps. I have no idea why. I just decided that I wanted to, so I did. And this is where I'm recording this next devotion. So I just get really encouraged sharing these devotions because the Lord has been speaking to me so much through this time, and I just really love when I get to share it with others. So I hope you've been finding these videos as an encouragement and just as an excitement to know that the Lord is still working, He's still moving in our church, and He's still doing great things. So I just pray that you would just continue to focus your minds on Him and continue to seek Him during this time, because He is still a good God. He was good yesterday, He's good today, and He's going to be good tomorrow. So we just have to trust Him and trust His faithfulness. And so I'm just going to share with you something that He's been teaching me. I'm continuing to work through the devotional book Discerning the Voice of God by Priscilla Schreier, and it has just been so refreshing just to know that the Lord still speaks, and that there are ways in which we can better hear Him when He speaks. One of those ways is practicing His presence. So one of the things that Priscilla Schreier encourages people to do is to spend time in His Word and spend time in worship with Him and spend time praying with Him. And sometimes when we do this, it can feel so unfulfilling. Like us as humans, we want instant gratification. And when we don't hear from the Lord in these moments that we're with Him, spending with Him in His presence, we can so easily get discouraged. And I find that, or what she was teaching, is that we need to get into the habit of practicing His presence, because when we're doing that, that's when the Lord speaks to us, whether we realize it or not. But that's when He starts connecting the dots. If you're spending time in His Word, you're going to start hearing from Him then, and then maybe He's going to use people around you to also speak to you and connect those dots together. And then maybe when you're at church or watching church virtually, like the pastor could say something that speaks to you as well, and that again connects another dot. And like the Lord is the master dot connector. Like that's His job, is just trying to get you to have your eyes open to see Him at work. And He's going to connect dots through conversations, through His Word, through His Spirit, through worship, through a new song, through anything. And He just wants you to be more in awe of Him and more in love with Him. And I think this is just an exciting part, because it's almost like a little game, and He wants to reward us every time we spend time with Him. And I find that when I'm not spending time in His Word during the week in my own personal devotions, I can go to church and I can, if I'm being honest, I can lead worship and feel unfulfilled. I can listen to the sermon and feel unfulfilled. And it's in those moments that I'm like, is there even a point to doing all this? And don't get me wrong, those are very few seasons, but it has happened. But I try through reading His Word and spending time in His presence during the week to prepare myself for Sunday, for leading worship, for listening to the sermon. And it's in those moments when you've done like the prep work, that when you get to those moments, that He starts connecting the dots, and that's how He speaks, which I find is so exciting. And when that actually happens, it just gets me jazzed. I think that's a Jamie Grease word, that he would say that he's jazzed with the Spirit. And if not, I apologize, because I'm giving him credit for something that wasn't his. Anyways, and something that was also another encouragement to me through this devotion is that we can trust and we can rest in the foundation of the Word and the Spirit of truth that the Lord gives us. Because John 16:13 says, when He, the Spirit of truth, comes, He will guide you into all truth. He will not speak on His own initiative, but whatever He hears, He will speak, and He will disclose to you what is to come. So the Spirit of truth is just excited to guide you into truth. So if you spend time with the Spirit, He will then guide you to truth. He Himself is the truth. He will guide you to truth. He will teach you more truth, which then we can base ourselves and have that as a foundation. And I just think it's so exciting, because God is truth. John 14:6 says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. That's what Christ says. I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes to the Father except through me. And so we have to trust in his truth, rest in his truth, and just know that we can always go to him, and he will always be there for us. And even when the enemy tries to attack us and disguise us, and however he feels that will work, we know that we stand in a place of victory, and that the Lord is good, and he is faithful, and he loves us, and he wants to guide us into all truth. But we just have to be faithful in practicing his presence. And that means practicing his presence whenever we're not feeling like it, whenever we are not receiving his words instantly, like when we're not being instantly gratified. And it's in those moments that we have to trust that he will still speak, and he will still connect the dots for us. And we can just know that when we worship him, and when we spend time in his presence, and when we bring glory to him, regardless of what season we're in, that he will still love us no matter what. And I hope this makes sense. I feel like I was just rambling for a little bit there, but I do really get really excited whenever the Lord does teach us things, and when he does connect the dots, because I find it leaves me more in awe of him, more in love with him. And I think that's just a lifestyle that we can just learn to live in. And he's so good, and he's so worthy of our praise. So I hope that as a church together, we can just know that that we can come together in this time, in this season, and we can just trust him more and more, and just rest in his faithfulness, in his truth, in his love, and in his peace. And thank you for listening, and I hope that you guys are all having a good day. And I just pray that we can just stick together as a church during these times and just trust the Lord, because he is good. He's good forever and ever. Amen. Bye, guys.